And it's the next day, and pull the clamp off. Oh, nothing fell off. And I see we got a little of the Gorilla Glue foam sticking out there. I'll take the razor knife to that. This side didn't seep, didn't put near so much on. I'm a bit nervous about that. I may drill a hole right through there, through to the other side, put a small nut and bolt. I think I have some nylon hardware that's about that length, and just to secure those tail pieces, because I don't need those falling off when I crash land this for the first time, because I'm sure I will. Anyway, bear with me here. Get my stuff together and we'll maybe get the glue out and put a few more pieces on. So I decided that maybe for the rudder piece I'll use this no-name plastic glue that they ship with the model itself. It's in a plastic tube, and after I took all the air out of it, I maybe got a half a tube or so. So it's the entire bottom of this thing's flat now, so it's full of air. Anyway, I'm going to try to use that on the rudder. Let me just push that ahead. See if I can set the thing down here. Just bear with me. There we go. Nothing like live TV. Okay, so as you recall, I had the pin hinges set into the rudder with the Gorilla Glue, but it foamed up quite a bit. I wonder if I should take a bit of that off there. Maybe I will. Just stand by. Alright, it's not quite as ugly now. Took a little bit of the glue off. That's not perfect, but okay. The reason I'm going to use this plastic cement is because I think it will, well, it won't foam up, and it would probably set faster. So I'm just going to apply a bit to each of the. That stuff's pretty thick too. Yeah, wow, it's I don't like that. Stand by. The best made plans. So that tube of glue that I showed you is garbage. It's basically thickened up to the point where it's paste and beyond. It's useless. Anyway, so we're back to the good old Gorilla Glue. So again, I'm just going to apply a very small amount on each of these spars, and that's it. Just a tiny little bit right on the ends. There. And we're going to then push those into the holes and hope that everything works. So, without getting, okay, not sure if you can see that. I guess you can. Just basically, so now that rudder will pivot on those hinges. Now this is not perfect, but I don't think I'm going to push it in any further, because if I do, it'll get on foam up around the hinges, and I don't want that to happen. So anyway, yeah. So let me just prop this under here. Oh, goodness gracious. There. Okay. So now that's the rudder piece in place, and lots of movement on it. So okay, we're going to let that set up a little while, and then I'm going to move up to the front of the plane. We'll be back. Alrighty, rudder's in. It's been sitting for a couple of hours now. Yep, still moves, so I guess the hinges aren't completely glued up. I did set the wing assembly in place. Now, these spars here actually go into the side of the fuselage right here. It's very, very snug. Like I actually had to twist the wing assembly apart and then bring it in. Now, they go in quite deep. I don't think I'm going to glue them. They're very, very snug in there, and I'm not really sure they need any glue, so I'm going to take a chance, not glue them. Plus, I think the rigging wires go up in here and then crisscross this way, which will pull them together like that. So I really don't think they're going to go anywhere. So what I need to do now is to, I'll show you on this side here. So what happens is these wing struts will slide into spots there in the wing, and on the bottom we have these guys, which would support the bottom wing at the outside. And there's these shorter ones which will go into these little critters here. There's a slot in the bottom of the fuselage where these things will just pop into. If I can show you that or not, let's see. Those slots right there. There's one on that side, one on that side. It's hard to see because of the light. Anyway, trust me, it's there. Probably if I put the landing gear on here it might have been easier, but anyway. and I'm going to use these large clamps like this, spring clamps. I'm actually going to clamp both sides here, so one under, one over, like that, so it will hold it. And I guess I'm back, like I said, to the Gorilla Glue, since the glue they supplied is more or less dried up. Anyway, so I'm going to clamp those, and oh, and I did move the wiring back from the aileron servos into the back cabin here, because everything's got to come back, so all the wiring is back into that hole, because the receiver will be in here. And the only thing left, of course, is the motor and the controller, which is here, which will go in the front after, and then I got one more lead to go back, and there's lots of it, so it'll stretch right back into that rear cab in. And I guess that's all I've got for you right now, so let me get this clamped into place and we'll move along. Alrighty, we've got the those glued in place. I'll show you what I got here. So glued under and over and clamped. And same on the other side over here. Oops, just taking a bit of a... Anyway, so that's got to sit for a few hours. Hopefully I didn't put too much glue. And we'll see if we can affix the bottom wing to it. And then we'll go on from there. So much more parts to put on here. And I got some railroad stuff to do too. It's a snowy day out. Here, I should show you what we're up against here. Been like this all day. Well, look, it's a winter wonderland. Yep. So, let's see, what would I rather do? Put together an aircraft, shovel snow. Back to the aircraft. Stay tuned. It's been several hours now. I've removed the clamps from these pieces here. I just flipped the whole plane over, so that's these chunks. Now these are still, I did get a little bit of a gluey mess there. I managed to wipe up most of it with a wet paper towel as it was setting and foaming over as usual. But anyway, I'm not too concerned about that. It's minor. But I'm concerned about putting any stress on these right now until the glue actually sets. So I'm not going to put this bottom wing on yet. That would normally go on here like that, and it would fit into the, that would go up into there, that up into there, but I would have to probably stress them a bit to do that, so I'm not going to at this point. However, as on the top side here, these struts here, as I was telling you about, they slide into the fuselage. Same thing happens on the bottom. There's two pieces, so essentially they slide into these cavities in the fuselage here, and they're very snug. And believe me, once you push them in, they really can't go anywhere. So I'm not going to glue that part. I will glue this part to the bottom eventually, but I can't do that right now. So really the only things I can do, because I have the clamps freed up, is these little pieces here. And these are, I guess, a wing skid, which will sit in there like that. And then we can turn the wing over. That becomes the bottom of the wing. Probably got it backwards, do I? Oh no, I got it right. Look at that. And that would be just a skid in case the plane tipped one side or the other when it was landing. It would hit the skids and protect the wings. So I will glue those in next. Give them a couple of hours to set up, and by that time I should be able to put the bottom wing on, because this should be set. And oh yeah, the rudder here, I was having some issues. The glue did foam out a little bit, got into the hinges, so what I did was put a little olive oil on the hinge just before the glue set up, so now it won't, of course, harden because of the oil. So hopefully that will help and keep the hinges free, and the glue won't get into them anymore, so that's maybe a good thing. Anyway, stand by. I think the wing has, the supports on the wing have set up enough to take the clamps off now. There's a little bit of oozing on those as well, I noticed. I did wipe them off, but oh dear. Anyway, I also took the liberty of hooking up the control horns on the elevators and on the rudder. I used the plastic glue. I actually did manage to squeeze some of it out of that tube over there, and used it for this stuff because it just didn't feel like getting into the ooze. That stuff doesn't seem to ooze as much, although it's not totally dry yet. Anyway, I'm going to unclamp this from the table now, and maybe we'll make an attempt at getting it up on that chunk of the wing there on the bottom of the fuselage, and that will complete the front wing set. So let's see where we go. Just noticed something interesting, more of a tactical error on my part. I only have 2 clamps like this that will actually reach these pieces under here and here. I've got 4 things to glue. So since the wings are relatively flexible, I'm going to glue only the inner 2 pieces right now and clamp them with these 2 clamps that I have, and then eventually when they're set I'll come back and do these ones. So this is going to be a 2-step operation. Mostly my fault because I've only got 2 clamps, so that will, I think, curtail tonight's activities. Tomorrow we'll do another one, so I guess we're into the next episode. By then everything should be on the plane, including the landing gear.